the last 7 weeks, many of you have been getting emails daily from the parish, and in those emails, there's a lot of information about things that are happening. You also get an article that I write every day. I try to write every day. I thought today I'd speak to you directly. If you've been reading those emails, you probably noticed that there was a bit of a problem last week that I was addressing in 2 of those letters that I wrote. And I want to apologize because I think that the misunderstanding that came about was my fault. I was asked by the Archdiocese, in fact, all the collaborators were asked by the Archdiocese, that because of the prolonged shutdown of the pandemic, for the collaborators begin to discuss whether it was a better idea to stay in collaboration or to begin to think about moving towards merger. And so I decided to start that conversation. So the other evening I pulled together about 30 members of the parish leadership from both parishes, and we began this discussion. And at that discussion, I said a couple of things. One, that what we were talking about wasn't a secret. I expected them to share that news with other people. 2 was that we weren't being told to do anything. We're just being asked to have a discussion. And I said at that time that whatever we did, whether we stay in collaborative or we move towards merger, we would only do so if it helped both St. Mary's and St. Joseph's meet the mission that we have of announcing the good news of the gospel, making disciples, and helping people to get to heaven. We're not making any decisions at all, but I'd ask people to begin that conversation. And I also said that the one thing that would not happen is that neither of the parishes would ever close. There's no reason to even think about closing one of the parishes. Well, by that, the next morning, the word was out that one of the parishes, St. Mary's, was closing. And so I had to write letters to tell people that isn't the case. St. Mary's is not closing. St. Joseph's is not closing. One of the letters that I wrote, I think I said that it was more likely that I'd become a Yankee fan than that one of those parishes would close. I think it was my problem, my fault, because I wasn't very clear. So I want to remind people, just let people know, we're just making a discussion about what's best for the mission of the parish. Whether we stay as a collaborative or a merger, nothing's going to happen for the long term. We want people's input. We've set up an email account for people to respond. If you get the daily email from us already, you can respond directly from that. There'll be a link. But the email is maryjosephmergerfeedback@gmail.com. If you go to our webpage, stsmaryjoseph.org, there's a place for merger discussion. You can put questions in there, and there'll be question and answers, frequently asked questions on that site also. We want to hear from people. And also, if you do not get the daily email, which is full of a lot of information, go to the parish website, hit contact us, give us your information, and you'll receive those daily emails. And so once again, I just want to apologize for any misunderstanding. I encourage people to let us know what they think about what's happening, to reach out to us, and I ask you to continue to pray for the people who are suffering during this pandemic, pray for our first responders and our healthcare workers, but continue to pray for the church, particularly for our own collaborative St. Mary and Joseph, that God will continue to strengthen us, give us His grace, and to help us to continue the mission of announcing the good news, making disciples, and helping our brothers and sisters to reach the kingdom of God. God bless you.